Hello. I thought, as part of that interview with a vampire series, I would now give you my personal experience now my guest has gone. Before I do that, the message that he'd also asked me to say is consider the as within, so without in terms of when we talk about phoenix years. Think also of the activation of the Great Pyramid. Consider that they are external and macro. But like a phoenix reset, you would call a Kundalini rising or Christ consciousness. It's just another label that effectively means the same thing. Right. I this is not the way I wanted to do this series of videos for a start. I envisaged when I was approached about this as two people sitting in a room and in the role of the host asking the questions to prompt the replies and things, but my guest wanted it done in a way. The way it was said to me was, this is what I'm going to tell you, and then I want you to relay it in your own words and put it into a more cohesive, personalized English, as it were. So that's the way it went, and I have to respect their wishes. How did it feel? The best way I can describe this, imagine someone who has put someone like Elvis Presley on a pedestal when he was alive, and they've now got this moment where they've got pen and paper in hand, and they're able to get his autograph and talk to this iconic pop star in the eyes of this person who's put them on such a pedestal. And it's almost like a positive panic attack. You're so starstruck that you can't get. It's paralyzing. It's like all you can say is hello and oh wow and that kind of thing, and you're sort of looking up to this whoever it is. It could be the Pope, it could be Elvis Presley, it could be Bob Marley, or any famous figure where people have pedestalized them and see them as some sort of god, whether it be in music or whatever. But it it's such an overwhelming presence because that person has projected and accepted that sort of image of that whoever that is. Could be a Hollywood actor or something like that as well. So if you can imagine that, now multiply that by 1,000. My guest that was here, the presence. I didn't even really need an explanation as to why I'd been approached to put those videos together. It's called an interview rather than an interview because it is giving you a view to enter a way of looking at this reality from the perspective of my guest. Yeah, so we've covered the yeah. So hence, It's not so much it's not pedestalizing because I wasn't aware of this person, but the sheer charisma, the sheer presence that you could just feel. It's like, oh, not in a way where you feel you're drained of your energy, but in a way that it was such a powerful energy that I could only liken to that Christ consciousness moment, that euphoria, that that cosmic wave that just hits and leaves you sort of, oh, I can't actually come up with any words, but I hope that puts it across a little bit better. I wanted to share my experience, and what has also occurred to me is why now we are in the middle of the month of May would be the answer to that. The, it, it's as it explained it to me. It's a series of wheels within wheels within wheels. So you've got Phoenix events, you've got resets and things, you've got smaller versions, micro versions, you've got uh, preludes to unfolding dramas the next time those stories play out. And of course, they play out on individual levels. So it's not just the one story. It, as with that story, you've got the Moses being sort of cast away and hidden. You've got the wicked uncle. You've got the pole shift and transmutation of extreme hatred to coming from a place of absolute love, and you've got so many other overlays to that. I can't verify any of it. It seems to make sense to me on a personal level talking here. There are. It's like, well, maybe that's what I was meant to be. I just a messenger, not just a messenger, but a messenger. It's in connected with Gemini communication, and we're nearly at the stage of going into Gemini as well. Strange is also that it's in Taurus, which is Earth, and as was shown, the play out is the world stage, the earthing plane, the point in the middle. You could say it's the neutral ground. It's the middle path between what you could say is upper and lower worlds. So I can see why it is, and being a half Taurus, half Gemini, it sort of makes sense just from that. But that was quite a quite an interview. If you think job interviews are terrifying, then that's nothing. That's a breeze. Even if it's the most terrifying job interview, that is way beyond, because it wasn't like an interview for a job. It was you have been requested. There was no interference with free will on this either. I wasn't forced to do this. I could have declined it. I had the option to do that, but I thought, no. After hearing what's said, then I feel it needs to be shared. And to me, it seems daft. Why wasn't a bigger channel picked, for example? Why? What? But I don't know the reasons for that. It's just the way it was. So on the playback, I couldn't help but notice, especially on the first one, I'm sort of like, because I am sort of feeling a sort of nervousness, because it's something unknown. It's something I've never done a sort of like an interview video anyway, and when it's a guest of, I'm going to have to say, of that magnitude, that's not pedestalizing, it's just their energy that is so powerful, you can't not sense it, and it's phenomenal. So that was quite an experience to share with you. I did ask permission, was it alright if I talk about my experience, and I just gave an overlay of, I just want to say how I felt through this and shared that aspect of it. And how I feel it sort of backs up and confirms so much. And I can't help but notice that why now, the middle of May, you see? That's just incredible. It's gone now, but earlier on, after the first video, the wind picked up. It's like straight away there's like a reflected reaction, and it's like, oh, this must be causing a storm. So that I don't take as something negative. I take that as that's being given as a confirmation that that story was meant to be told, and it has implications for the future in ways that will unfold. So I don't know what's happening with part 4, because that's been left open-ended. Whether they'll come back and approach me again to do the part 4, I don't know. There's other reasons that it's something to do with, because it is currently unfolding, rather than talking about what would be perceived past and history and things. But make of it what you will. Treat it as a story, but at the same time, take what resonates out of it with you. Maybe it does help answer some questions for things in your life if you can see parallels in it. So I'm going to say love to you all, and I'm going to finish this cup of coffee and this smoke, and then I've got watering to do and a bit of grounding, I think, after all that. So I hope that has helped you in some way, and love to you all.